Exercise apparently can be hard work, and while it may be tempting to reward yourself with a tasty post-workout treat, your personal trainer will not be impressed. That, or he either doesn't have a clue what he's doing. And neither would our Sun News Network's resident fitness buff, Brendan Fox, is here to give us some tips on how to refuel after a very tough workout. Good to have you here. This, to me, is one of the most important parts of your workout. The pre-fuel, the after-fuel.
Yeah, and it's one of those parts that a lot of people don't understand quite well.
Right.
I mean, the key is that if you've done a workout, your body's in a very depleted state. And what's happened is your body has broken down the less adapted muscle, and it's going to rebuild some more functional muscle that'll help meet the demands you're placing on it. So it's going to undergo a remodeling phase.
Right.
And in order to do that, the two main principles are that we want the nutrients, protein and carbohydrates, we want them absorbed as rapidly as possible so the body can begin.
And the healthiest thing, because your body absolutely absorbs everything after a workout, so why not put the best fuel in your body?
Yeah. And then the other thing is, one of the things people do too is they tend to consume some of the healthy fats, and that's not necessarily the best time to consume healthy fats because it slows.
And a healthy fat would be what?
Like fish oil. For example, it slows the absorption of the proteins and carbs to begin the remodeling process.
Okay, so give me an example so people understand what would be the ideal meal after workout. And I always suggest eating within 45 minutes, not much later, because your metabolism's boosted to its highest.
Because we don't want to stay in that depleted state. So what happens is liquid foods are absorbed faster than whole foods. So we also want to be going with, we also want to be choosing complete balanced proteins.
Which would be?
So a complete protein, an example would be meats, poultry, fish, dairy products. Quinoa is the only complete grain that I know of.
I love quinoa.
And soybeans, which I don't necessarily recommend because they're going to potentially raise estrogen.
Right, so, for men, for sure.
Yes, so those are the proteins that we want to have post-workout. Now, of those proteins, the most rapidly absorbed proteins would include whey protein. Now, with whey protein, there's 3 different forms. Whey concentrate is good, whey isolate is better, and whey hydroslate is best. And people consume a combination of all 3.
Now, I'm a vegetarian, and there are options for vegetarians to get their protein. Because my biggest challenge is getting enough good protein to give me muscle density. It's a real challenge for me.
As it is for all vegetarians as well. So in this case, it would make sense to have more of a brown rice protein shake or a pea protein shake, because once again, you want to go for liquid protein because it's more rapidly absorbed into the body. And eggs would be another whole food example of rapidly absorbed protein you could have.
I suggest that eggs are the perfect food.
I agree.
I honestly, I love eggs. I eat about 6 a day. And
oh my goodness.
I know, it's crazy, but they're so...
All at once?
No, not all at once, but they're so good for you. They're such a balanced meal.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's almost like a lot of the principles of breakfast apply to post-workout.
Yes.
You know, your body's in a depleted state. It's going to absorb quickly whatever you're consuming. The other thing with post-workout nutrition is, in this one instance, good carbs and bad carbs kind of switch places.
Because you need the carbs.
Because, you need the carbs fast. So you don't necessarily want all that fiber that's going to slow absorption. So in this case, the 2 best types of carbohydrates to have are dextrose and maltodextrin. And they're often used in post-workout powders. Now, dextrose, you can have the powder. It's also called glucose. Or you can consume it through white bread, through cereal, and white rice.
I was told that if I couldn't get my hands on food right after my workout, but if there was beer around, quickly have a beer while your food is cooking at home. It buys your body an extra few minutes while you're preparing your foods.
That's true. I guess you could, if there's a time to have beer immediately post-workout, you know, is the time to hit the bar right after. But there's also some problems with having alcohol as well. If you're going to have maltodextrin, which is a little bit more slowly absorbed than dextrose, for people who are concerned about gaining fat, then white potato, cornflakes, actually, as you mentioned earlier, and white rice, again, would be ideal sources. Now, there's a number of different post-workout shakes and drinks people can have, but if you're going to be consuming your nutrition post-workout, to know how much you should have is going to be approximately based on your body weight. So for protein, it's 0.15 grams per pound of body weight. So if you're a 200-pound man, you're going to need 30 grams of protein post-workout.
And for a day, for a whole day?
No, that's just the immediate post-workout.
Tell me what you would want for a full day for a 200-pound man.
So for the full day, you're going to probably want at least 150 grams of protein.
Right, because I get 100 grams a day.
Yeah.
Okay, here, I want to switch gears here a little bit, because a lot of people think they can go to these stores and stock up on powdered supplements to get their protein. And I only have one supplement a day. Every protein source that I get, or carb source, is from food, healthy food.
Yes.
Most people think that they can get the same quality out of a powder.
The problem with powders is that people get sensitivities to them.
Yeah.
They overconsume them, they develop like mild allergies to them, they get digestive problems from them. A lot of people have trouble digesting dairy products, which is why I want to, encourage that people consider some of the whole food examples, like having things like white rice. The one time and place for it is immediately post-workout.
So I won't touch
Eggs.
it. I won't touch. No, I don't.
know, you're in that.
I got fantastic results by cutting those types of carbs out and keeping vegetable carbs,
Yep.
broccolis and leafy spinach and that kind of thing. So for chicks, I think it works better without
So,
the
well,
bread
I mean,
rice.
and it's all relative. It depends
Yeah.
on what your priority is, right? So
Abs,
if
six pack.
you actually won't put your body in as depleted of a state if you have some protein and carbs pre-workout.
Right.
So you don't have the same requirements for getting that rapid nutrition. So you can go with carbs that aren't as rapidly absorbed, that have more of the fiber as an option, as long as, you could even be sipping like, some Gatorade and protein mixed together, sipping during your workout or pre-workout.
Yes.
And then that way you prevent putting yourself in the depleted state, so you can avoid that approach if you have, some sort of negative neuroassociations to things like white rice and such. Then
Good.
that is
And
another
the last
option
piece
for
of
people like
advice
yourself.
before we let you go: don't skip a meal after your workout, because there's no point in working out. If you skip a meal, you might as well have not worked out.
Yeah,
It's very
totally
bad for you.
counterproductive.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm losing my voice. Thank you very much for coming in, Brandon. We'll see, of course, Brandon next week. And if you want more information, you can contact Medcan Clinic at www.medcan.com. Brandon, of course, is here every Thursday on the Roundtable, and you can get all the information on how he does things and how he gets the results he does by going online. Our national editor